This episode talks about getting a permanent visa to live in Brazil via marriage to a Brazilian citizen. A big warm hello to all our fellow Americans living in or thinking about moving to and living in Brazil. This episode will introduce you to the process, documents, online resources and people that we relied upon for me to get my Brazilian permanent residency visa within 2 months of starting the process under the family reunification clause. I'm not a Brazilian immigration lawyer, so please consult one to verify current requirements. Also, every applicant's situation will be different, so here's ours. I was born in India and became a US citizen around 30 years ago after getting married to my first wife, who is an American. Fast forward 25 years and my second wife is a Brazilian, and because we could work remotely as digital nomads, we decided to divide our time between the US and Brazil. Reasons we picked Brazil were many, but a quick summary is better climate, happy people, food, beaches, culture, music, cheaper cost of living, affordable healthcare, close-knit families, a work to live versus a live to work, debt-ridden, materialism and consumerism-inspired culture back in the States. I've done all the research and have been through the Brazilian permanent resident visa process already, so you can save yourself a lot of time by simply using the same resources I'm providing to you right here. I'd like to make clear that I have not been compensated in any way by any of the firms or people I'm talking about in this video. My intentions are purely to help educate you and save you and your family precious time. So let's get started. I used a firm called One Source Process in Washington, D.C. Link is in the description below, who is one of many FBI-approved channelers. I cannot tell you enough how impressed I was with their service. Each time I started a chat session with them on their website, my questions were answered promptly by knowledgeable staff, and each time I received an email with the full transcript of my Q&A chats. If you don't speak Portuguese and you're already in Brazil, I'd suggest you hire a local immigration attorney to guide you. Without that, you'll be chasing your tail from the start, and I do not recommend it. Once you've entered into a written contract with the attorney, he or she will file a petition on your behalf with the Brazilian Federal Police to stop the clock on your 90-day visitor visa and review the process, documents needed, and timeline with you. Your Brazilian immigration lawyer will also help you pay whatever application fees are required from you to the Brazilian Federal Police, also known as Polícia Federal. Just prior to my 90-day visitor visa was about to expire, we did a Google search and soon after hired Jair Castro in Ilhéus, Bahia, Brazil. His link also is in the description below. He helped me get a 90-day extension on my initial 90-day visitor visa and applied for my permanent visa as well. If you're in the US and planning to arrive in Brazil and then apply, get these two documents immediately: your birth certificate and your marriage certificate to the Brazilian spouse. If you're already in Brazil, like me, you can use the firm that I used called Vital Check. Again, link is in the description. They will obtain both documents for you and mail them to your address of choice. After having started an account with One Source Process in Washington, D.C., I asked Vital Check to mail both these documents to One Source Process for me and kept checking in to see if they had been received. Both these documents, keep in mind, will need an apostille and then translated into Portuguese by a certified translator. One Source Process can help you with both of these things. What is an apostille? Well, in 1961, several countries signed a treaty to accept legal documents from one another. Please check online to see if your country of citizenship is a member of the apostille nations. Now this bit only applies to people born in India, like me. In my case, I was born in India, so I had to email a copy of my birth certificate to a firm called Excellent Apostle Services based in Mumbai, India. Again, link is in the description. They were able to apostle my birth certificate, have it translated into Portuguese by a certified translator, and FedEx it to me in Ilhéus, Bahia, Brazil within 2 weeks for a total cost of around US $180, including shipping. You also need fingerprints of yourself, being that I was already in Brazil when we decided to apply for a permanent visa for me, and being that digital fingerprinting resources were not easily available close to us, I downloaded the FBI fingerprinting form, again link is in the description, made multiple copies to practice fingerprinting myself using a large black ink pad that I purchased at a local papeleria or paper supply store. The key is to remember, roll fingernail to fingernail. For example, roll each finger from the leftmost part where each fingernail meets the skin, then roll it to where the rightmost point meets the skin. I taped the fingerprinting card to the edge of the table so I could maneuver my body, arms and fingers around it to get the perfect fingerprint. Also, after inking my fingers on the black ink pad, I dabbed them twice on blank paper because the third print had the best results without excessive smudges resulting from extra ink. You will need an FBI police clearance report on yourself. One source process suggested I use a firm called National Background Information. Link is in the description. Whether you're ordering your report from the US or from Brazil, be sure to read their detailed FAQ page, which answers all your questions and concerns. They will email you your report with access instructions and mail the original to an address within the US. I picked the address for One Source Process in Washington, D.C. for the original police report to be mailed to. Note that if you're ordering your FBI police report from abroad, National Background Information recognizes the IP address of computers, and only US-based computers are allowed access to your FBI police report. I used a relative in the US to open their forwarded email to me, used the instructions provided, including referencing a security grid, to open and download the PDF and email that to me for my records. After all documents are received by One Source Process, they'll need apostilled, a process they oversee for you, and then translated by a certified Portuguese translator. In summary, the Apostille Treaty was adopted in 1961 by various countries to help legalize and recognize documents amongst one another. Again, check online to see if your country is one of those countries. The United States, Brazil, and India, in my case, are all part of the Apostille Treaty and accept apostille documents. Remember that all documents submitted to the Brazilian Federal Police must be dated within the previous 90 days, so make sure to plan accordingly. I would suggest you or your Brazilian spouse also have copies of your 3 most recent bank statements to show that you are financially able to support yourself in Brazil. You'll also need passport photos of yourself, both ears showing, not smiling, hair tucked behind your ears, white background. It won't hurt you to get quite a few of them. I got 6 photos, and whatever I didn't use, I can use someplace else in the future. I used DHL to ship my documents from Ilhéus, Bahia, Brazil to the US, and FedEx to ship documents back from the US back to me in Bahia, Brazil. Everything went flawlessly and took around 7 to 8 days each way. I was advised against using the US or Brazilian postal service, so I don't have any idea on what their cost or reliability factor is, and I wasn't looking to gamble with important documents just to save myself a little bit of money. The total cost incurred to me was around $2,000, which includes the immigration lawyer fee, various Brazilian taxes, various application fees, and fees to vital check, national background check, One Source Process, the apostille and translations for US and India documents, DHL and FedEx shipping costs, etc. All was paid using a credit card. I also used the Zoom app to wire funds from my US account directly into the bank account of my Brazilian immigration attorney. Let me give you a tip. Brazil operates on a different wavelength than, say, the United States. If you're used to things happening in a punctual, efficient manner in your country, the first tip I'd like to give you is to forget about all of that. In Brazil, you'll need to have plenty of patience. Things here happen at a much slower pace. Then, you'll need to stay super humble. Let me repeat that. You'll need to stay super humble and not show your frustrations to the person in front of you, regardless of if he or she is your immigration attorney, a bank teller, a notary, or a member of the federal police reviewing your visa application. Show respect. In fact, show lots of respect by calling people by their titles, which you can research ahead of time. Be friendly, smile often, relax, even when you're being asked to furnish documents beyond what you thought were needed from you. Remember, each case is different and you're playing by Brazilian rules. Do not argue with anyone by trying to prove your point, as it'll only show you in a bad light to the person you're talking to and may further delay your case. Listen, good luck, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop us a like, comment and share it with your friends or some groups that you think might be relevant for this content. Also, if you like weekly vlog style content from our lives, please consider supporting our channel by subscribing to it. Take care and bye, or as they say in Brazil, ciao ciao.